Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. Today's conversation is really talking about the ethnic minority pain, being mixed race or being Black, and some of the pains we go through, such as the basic pain we go through is our hair. My guest today, Soraia, she was the winner of the Big Brother Portugal 5. She came in the first position, but during her stay in the Big Brother, she got some trolls because people were asking about her hair and why she was changing it so often, not knowing sometimes it has something to do with her culture. She'll be talking about that journey and how she found her joy during that process and how she was able to help others to better understand the trouble and difficulties with the Black person's hair. She's a journalist graduate from the University in England. She's a YouTuber, an English teacher. We'll be talking about her background, about who she is, and some of the issues that comes to do with trolling. Because so many people know that in today's world, especially when you're on social media, currently on social media, you always notice there's a troll culture out there and the cancel culture. We'll be talking about the impact this is having on people like herself. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. We'll be talking about issues of life. My guest today, she was a contestant for Big Brother Portugal, and she actually won it. And so, you imagine the drama, the pain, the trolls that came with winning. And as well, you want to win, you want to be successful, but that also comes with its own pain. She'll be talking about that journey. She'll be talking about the cancel culture and just who she is, being Soraia. She's an amazing and beautiful girl, as you can see.
Oh, so are you? Thank you. You're so sweet.
Well, how are you today? I'm super delighted you're here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. Like I said, I'm trying to keep positive, keep my head straight, trying to keep working and walking forward, really. I think that's the only way. But at the same time, I cannot stop feeling sad from what's going on in the world. And I'm hoping for better days, really. And trying to see the ways that I can help, but otherwise I'm good.
I'm glad. And I think that the whole thing going on in the world affects everyone in one way or the other. I think when you just even think about it. So at this point in time, everyone needs to be strong through our mental health, and hopefully this matters as fast as possible. Soraia, you are a beautiful girl. You've done so much in your life already. You've really achieved great things. Before you go into all of that, can you just tell me briefly who you are?
Well, very briefly, I would say I'm like a girl that never gives up, who always goes after her dreams. And I always try again. I keep trying for everything. That's one rule I learned with my mom: always keep trying until you get it. So I'll just say I'm a trier. I try all the time to do everything. So I think that's what I would say.
And when you look at your background, seems very mixed. Where are you from? Tell me about your background and a bit of a background growing up as a child. And where are you from originally?
Yeah, well, I'm mixed race. My mom is half Egyptian, half Portuguese, and my dad is Cape Verdean. However, I was born in Portugal, so I do speak Portuguese. I learned English while I was growing up, and I also studied in the UK as well. But I'll just say I'm very, very mixed.
As a mix, people always have this confusion when you're mixed, that there's a lot of mental struggles that make people who are mixed have to go, because there's no direct place where you fit in. I say this as my kids are mixed, but I've not noticed that with them yet, but they're still quite young. As a mixed race lady, how did you fit in? Because you went on to go into the Big Brother house, and in Portugal. How did you fit in there, and how did you adapt as a mixed race lady?
It was I feel honestly, the way I feel I was it was a dream going to Big Brother. I never thought I would actually get in and get to be chosen. However, I did live quite a few years in London, for 5 years. And I'm a mixed girl. I love wearing hair extensions, wigs, and everything. But the main thing that I loved in London is the mix of cultures. So I was quite prepared because I saw, because in Portugal, there was like all this big fuss when I was in Big Brother of like about my hair, about me wearing wigs, wearing extensions. Like it was a very big thing. And people wouldn't understand why I would like to change, switch up my hair. They would say I would be embarrassed by it, that I didn't love my hair, which is so wrong. I just love to change. And I think like our hair gives us the chance to change a lot, but they don't understand, like I feel until these days. Some people love it, they understand, but some people still confused. They still like sometimes try to like attack me on social media about it. But in Big Brother in Portugal was like a main thing, like about my hair and about me being mixed race and why I don't wear my hair. But I was kind of like expecting it. I was like, I would like take my wig off, wear my hair, put the wig back again. But, and it's like, I feel like that had a big impact also like on African ladies, because they would feel like quite ashamed, because I feel like sometimes there's this culture about you loving yourself and loving who you are and showing who you are and act natural and be natural. But I feel like the main thing is that people should just do whatever they want. If they want to be natural, they can be natural. If they want to wear hair extensions, they can wear hair extensions. And I feel like people are always trying to dictate to you like what you should do, where you should be. And I hate that. Like, I'm just like, oh, you want to do that? As long as you're not hurting anyone, just do you. And yeah, that's my main thing. And I feel like until these days, people are like, oh, you never had plastic surgery. You're such like a supportive of people being natural. I'm like, no, you got it wrong. I'm supportive of people doing what they want with their bodies. And yeah, I always try to pass that message, but I feel like some people sometimes don't want to understand, or they don't want to know.
No, but that's really good. That's really good that you did that, Big Brother, because that it was something that you opened a light to so many. Because you might think even in London that's so diverse that it's easy. I think one of the struggles many Black women face is if they're to go into these contestants. If they do it, they feel that nervousness of the way people react to them. Figure out the real people, the real who we are at home, because at home they take out the wigs or they take out, so a lot of people, that is who we are. This is century. It's not something that we just invented. It's something that has come with us.
Like imagine like the braids. I wore braids a lot. Even the braids, like I feel like that's part of our culture. Like in the summer, most times I wear braids. It's just such an easy hairdo. I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. And it's just part of our culture, right? And people, I think like people don't get it, or they don't want to get it really. So
no, you're right. I think the more we have people like yourself being an advocate, because it's also people don't get what they don't understand. So if you don't understand it, and you have your hair is normal, simple, easy to handle, you will never get why you expect everyone's hair to be like that. So when you see being more flexible, playing around with their hair, you're wondering to yourself, why? How comes they have the opportunity? How comes they could do such? But your experience at Big Brother really helped a lot of people shine a light on this is the culture. This is who they are. And I really am so happy, because did you go on to win? Can you tell us about the experience?
I'm sorry, could I tell you about what? Sorry?
The experience of the Big Brother. Did you go on to win?
Oh no, I didn't. I talked, you know how I studied journalism, and I was looking for a job on television really. And I came to Portugal during like the Christmas time, and I saw like, oh my God, Big Brother. After like almost 20 years of not having like a proper Big Brother, it would be like Big Brother VIP, like something different. This one was like looking for real people. And I was like, real people, maybe I can fit in. And then I was like, okay, let's give it a chance. And I remember like the day when I told goodbye to my mom and they took me like to the hotel and everything, I was like, I'll stay for 1 or 2 weeks and then I'll be back. And she was like, yeah, I'll see you like in 1 or 2 weeks. And it was totally fine for me not waiting. I just want to like to live the experience and see how it was, how it would go and leave something different, like take the chance. And then week after week, I would like go into the eliminations, and people would vote for me to stay, and I'll be like, what is happening? and I would really be thankful. I'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, like of me showing myself. And I would also getting from like to open new doors for me, like especially like the television world here in Portugal, which is quite small, but well, it's still amazing. And yeah, I just went with the flow, and I ended up winning. Like on the like the night of like the final, like you can see like me lifting my hands like up to my head, like what is going on? I was so confused. Like I didn't know. Like I didn't even know that people liked me. Like you kind of have an idea, but I'm never the kind of person that will like trust everything I see. I would see in Portugal you have like airplanes. People would like send you airplanes with message like from the outside, because you don't really have contact with anyone and you don't know what's going on the outside world. But they do send you these messages, and like could say, Soraia, I love you, Portugal is with you. Even my friends would send me like, oh, UK is with you, like some fans that I would have in the UK. But still it's hard to believe, because everyone would get like some airplanes and you wouldn't know. And I realized people like me, and it was amazing.
What did you do? Why did they like you so much? What did you, I guess you were yourself, truly. What did you do?
I think so. I feel like from what I read and from what people would say is that I wouldn't talk on like behind anyone's back, and I would be very caring towards others. I feel like I'm that way because like my brother has mental health issues. He's autistic, and he also has like a psychosis, which is quite hard. So I'm very open about everyone being who they are. So I never judge. Like I see you acting this way, I'm like, oh, maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe she's having like an amazing day and she's excited. That's why she's just jumping around, not stopping. Like I never judge. I'm just doing my own thing. And I always tend to have fun. So I'll be very fun girl. Like I would love to dance on the parties. I feel like that was the way. I would also be quite honest, but I would never want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like I would tell you, even if you did something wrong, I would try to talk about all the nice things you have done, and I would pop them out and shine a light on them. Oh, wow. And I always try to do that in life because it's easier. It's easier for me to be nice than to be rude.
Yeah, it's easier for people to set your opinion that way. When you give them the balancing out, when you tell them, look, you're still a nice person, you have all these good qualities, it's just that little bit you need to change. That gives people that confidence that actually I feel good, because I need that person to tell me. We don't want always someone tell us we're perfect, but we need someone to correct our mistakes, but in a nice, loving way. So I'm so glad that you talked about that issues. But when you came out of Big Brother, because we're in the real world, were there lots of trolls that started targeting you? And how did you deal with those kind of people when they started targeting you, that you're a big straight girl, you shouldn't have won, that why are you here? When you had all those things, how did you deal with the trolls?
It's hard. Like I feel like it's hard until these days, because I love, you know how I love being nice. And honestly, I love making people feel happy. And it's hard knowing that some people don't like you and you don't really understand why, because you've never really done anything to hurt them. If I would be like a mean, hurtful person, then I would probably understand like, oh, well, I'm a big mean. Yeah. So that kind of makes sense why they're acting this way. But like, I haven't seen anything that I've done so bad for people to hate me to the point of like, there's sometimes people that send me the same message every day, like you're fat, you're ugly, you're black, you shouldn't have won. Like it has passed almost 2 years. I won the prize, I've spent it in my house, like it's gone. I'm trying like new things now, always running after new dreams, but people won't get over it. And like social media, I love social media. Even before Big Brother, I would be very active on social media. I would like post stories on Instagram, share my life on YouTube. But you're always up to the critics. Like people would always say something that you don't really like. Until these days, it's a bit hard for me, but I try to talk to my mom, also to my boyfriend. They give really good advice, like don't think about it. People, I feel like people today, some people are very mean and they envy people a lot. And it's not like my life is like amazing. Like I'm just trying to live the best life I can, but I have very bad days sometimes, and sometimes I have really good days, but people probably think I only have amazing days. I don't know.
That's the real dream of social media, is that, and the only thing that people see is that perfect life, and no one else sees that. So if you're to give advice to a younger girl, your younger self, a girl going through something right now, what would you tell her to do? A mixed race girl, a black girl, what would you tell them?
I would tell her, embrace yourself and don't be afraid of others people's judgments. That's what I would tell her. Because while growing up, when I was like in my teens, I remember people like my classmates, some of them were nice, most of them were nice, but some were mean and be like, oh, I don't understand where you're from, you're just weird looking, and you have like tan skin, but then you have like eyes, like where are you from? And they would like constantly, it's something so silly like for me to think about saying, but sometimes children can be quite mean. And I would be like, I would go home on my way home, and I remember thinking like, oh, people don't like me. The only way I truly felt like beautiful with who I was, I remember I was 14 years old. Like, yeah, like I remember, it's crazy. I remember in my head, I was like 14 and I was like, I think I'm pretty. My parents would tell me, like, parents would say like, you're beautiful. People sometimes would say I'm beautiful, but because people sometimes would be so mean at school, even though I had amazing classmates, some were silly, I feel like that weighted a lot on me, and I'm a bit sensible, and I would take in like very like a big part of it. And I remember just not feeling beautiful, and I wouldn't believe when people say, I'll be like, like I'm not pretty, but that would be fine. Well, I don't know. It was a hard time for me, but then I guess I grew up and I understood a few things. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, you're on the media, you're in the spotlight. You've been there, and there's this thing now we're all going through, which is the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Have you been impacted by this in any way, and how have people you know who are impacted dealing with that as well?
Yeah, like on some people when they were at Big Brother with me, there were some people that I liked, like a couple, like very few couple of people that I liked, and I would say like they will be friends of mine outside, like I will keep them like family. But there were some people that I didn't enjoy that much. I didn't like their personality that much, and when they came outside, I've heard and I've seen like people were very mean to them and they were suffering like mentally from it. But then they would do mean things and say terrible things, and people would try to cancel them. And that was horrible to watch, even though they would be quite mean. Sometimes I still feel like people, they could be saying the weirdest, the meanest thing, but unfortunately they still have the right to say it. It's a democracy, like you have the right to say it, and I have the right to not listen if I don't want to. Like I can block you if I don't want to listen or see what you have to say. But people just want to like cancel that person and taking the right of them to work. And I've seen this happening to a lot of like famous people, like Dave Chappelle, like with the show. He exposed his ideals, and it was quite bad for the other culture, that this transgender culture didn't take it quite well, and it had a big impact on him. I saw that he even wanted to perform at a school, that he would do fundraising every year, and he wasn't allowed to go because people said if he would go, they would walk out. And I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Like this is having a big impact. Like people can lose their jobs over something that they say. And I always feel like people should give the chance of the person to apologize and recognize maybe what I said wasn't exactly that. Maybe I can apologize and say I'm sorry, or sometimes people just have different opinions and we have to accept it.
Yeah, so and it's okay because that's what the democracy is all about, is that we have
Yeah.
opinions, but it's when you take it to too far, then that gets it really destroys life, starts to destroy life, and sometimes we don't even know the real impact it has on a person until we hear bad stories about them. Then we're like, oh my god, I didn't know that affected you that that much. Of course it did. It's just that the people that wasn't showing it. So it's just it's always nice to be kind over anything else. So sorry, before I let you go, your life is filled with an adventure. You are doing so much. What are some of the challenges as a woman that you've faced over the years, and what are some of your life goals?
Ooh, as a woman over the years, well, I struggle quite a lot with the way I looked before, over like the aspect I told you over being mixed race, and always wanted to feel accepted, but not kind of feeling that way. But then I kind of felt like I found my place in society, and I just decided I'm gonna be Soraia. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, too bad. There's nothing I can do. But well, to be honest, I felt quite supportive because I feel like that those 5 years I spent in United Kingdom really helped me build up and gain courage to be who I want and to just study journalism. I did uni there, and I was like, I'm going to be a TV presenter. So that's like one of my main goals. Right now, I'm trying to see if happens in Portugal. The TV is quite small, and I don't know if in England it happens the same. You're quite known, you're famous, but there's kind of this stigma against like reality shows constants. People that go into reality shows, sometimes they have, in Portugal, they might have this fame of not knowing anything, sometimes being called dumb, unfortunately. And it's a bit hard for you to distance yourself from that and to say like, I studied, I have a degree, I want to work on television. I'm not dumb. I know stuff. And sometimes it's a bit hard to distance yourself from that image. Luckily, I got out with a very good image because it could have went otherwise. I'm just fighting really for my dreams. I'm doing this talk show in March. I wish you were here to see. I'm going to interview this lady. She has a beautiful story. She helps a lot of refugees from Afghanistan. And she's also a teacher. It will be like a live talk show at a library. I'm very excited about that. I'm also doing English classes. Yeah, I love teaching as well. And I also have my podcast with my boyfriend, which people subscribe to. And I'm just really going after things that make me happy and that I can build my life upon also. So yeah, I would say that.
Well, I wish you the very best. I mean, you are truly.
Thank you.
You have turned your pain of your being a mixed race, your true pain, and you've turned it into something positive. You've not sat back there whimpering about it, but you're learning from it and you're helping others to find their joy. And I think the biggest thing you did for me was being able to accept your hair, which is something that people might not understand, but that is a pain for Black people. We're so afraid to show our hair because of the criticism that we will always meet. But you did it in such a beautiful way, and I thank you for this. Any final words before I let you go?
Oh, not really. I just want to thank you so much for this amazing conversation. I was so excited to be here talking to you. And yeah, I wish you all the best as well. Hopefully to meet you in the near future. And congratulations, you're amazing. I just love being interviewed by you, really.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.